Holy bat rumor, Batman. Allegedly, according to rumors out there. By the way, thanks to Brian in my Discord for posting this in our gaming hall, letting me know. So there's the very real possibility that Rocksteady is going back to the Batwell and working on a new Batman game. Now, once again, this is just a rumor, so takes it with a very small amount of fear toxin. Sources include Rhino the Bouncer and Marvel vs. Capnick over on X. So Marvel vs. Capnick is involved with Xbox era, FYI. I think Rhino the Bouncer is also another creator. So this is where the rumor stems from. I'll link their posts below in the description section, FYI. So what do you think about the possibility of Rocksteady working on a new Batman game? Do you think it's true? Do you think it's just a rumor? And if it's true, what are your hopes, concerns, and fears regarding a new Rocksteady Batman game? Feel free, let me know below in the comment section. As a lifelong Batman fan and a fan of the Arkhamverse, I am concerned about a potential new Rocksteady game. And I think that this is being done, obviously, by Warner Brothers because their previous Rocksteady game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, costed a lot of money and was a disastrous flop and almost killed a studio. And a lot of people have been let go from Rocksteady games as a result of the disastrous flop known as Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. So if it's true, this is, unfortunately, I fear, going to be nothing more than a cash grab pushed by Warner Brothers in order to recoup those losses from Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Which means it's a very real possibility that this new Batman game might end up being rushed. I hope that's not the case. I want to be wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me if Rocksteady is going to end up using previous existing assets and mechanics from this game that I'm playing right now, Batman Arkham Knight. Amazing game from 2015. It wouldn't shock me if there are striking similarities between this game and the hypothetical new Batman game by Rocksteady. So don't be surprised if that occurs, because they could just go dust off all those old assets and mechanics and repurpose them in a new version of Gotham City or a new map of Gotham City. And that leads us to another question. So if they are working on a new Batman game, what is it going to be? Is it going to also be in the Arkhamverse? Is it going to be a sequel, prequel to where we are? Like, is it going to be a sequel to Arkham Knight? Is it going to be a sequel to Arkham Origins? Now, Arkham Origins was made by WB Games Montreal, not Rocksteady, but a lot of Batman fans have a special place in their heart for Arkham Origins, so it could be a sequel to Arkham Origins. That would make sense. There is some space between Origins and Asylum, and they could always bring back Roger Craig Smith as the voice of Batman and Bruce Wayne, since he voiced Batman in that game. It could be a complete reboot. Maybe it has nothing to do with the Arkham franchise. Maybe it's like Gotham Knights. Once again, that is Warner Brothers Montreal. Or it could be just a remake or remaster. So it could be like a remake of Batman Arkham Asylum, maybe with newer mechanics and assets that were created post-Asylum in Arkham City, as well as Arkham Knight. I mean, it's a smaller game, so if they were wanting to bring out a Batman game as fast as possible, why not go back to the original Batman Arkham game, Arkham Asylum, and just completely rebuild that from the ground up with maybe the same voice acting from the late, great Kevin Conroy, as well as Mark Hamill and others, like Arlene Sorkin. She voiced Harley for the last time in that game. So that's also an option, Asylum remake with newer mechanics. Because you go back and you replay Arkham Asylum after you play Arkham City and Arkham Knight. It is a bit limiting and a bit clunky compared to its sequels, but still, I have a special place in my heart for Arkham Asylum. I absolutely love that game. But the other question is, let's just say it is a new Batman game. A sequel, prequel in the Arkhamverse, or a completely new Batman game. The writing yeah, they're going to have to bring somebody on board to actually write the story of the new Batman game, if it's a new Batman game and not a remake. And that's another concern I have, is are they going to bring back somebody knowledgeable about DC, the Batman universe, his allies, his enemies, the lore? I would recommend they bring back Paul Dini. He helped write the story for both Asylum and City. So I would love to see Paul Dini come back as a head writer for a future Batman game. That would be amazing if we got that. So yeah, the writing is a concern if it's a new Batman game, sequel or prequel. And once again, touching on the fact that Kevin Conroy is sadly no longer with us, that means that if this is a new Batman game, we're going to have to find somebody else to take on the mantle of Batman. And I would highly recommend Roger Craig Smith. I liked him as Batman. He brought his own gravitas to the role in Batman Arkham Origins. And I'm totally fine with him coming back as Batman and Bruce Wayne in a future Batman game if he ends up being the future voice actor in a hypothetical, rumored Rocksteady Batman game, which may or may not be true. Next, let's talk about who the main antagonist will be. Is it going to be Joker again? Because we've been there almost every single time in some form or fashion in every single Arkham game. Arkham Asylum, it was Batman versus Joker. Arkham City, there were several villains, but at the end, it was Batman versus Joker. And even in Arkham Knight, it ended up being a version of Batman versus Joker. And Arkham Origins, which was supposed to be Batman versus Black Mask, spoilers, ended up being, once again, Batman versus Joker. So I really don't want another Batman versus Joker. But I do have one exception. I'll talk about that in a minute. And I don't think Mark Hamill is willing to come back as the Joker, especially after Kevin Conroy passed away. So I guess if they brought back Joker, it would probably have to be Troy Baker voicing Joker, because he did a decent enough job in Arkham Origins and Batman, Assault on Arkham, on that animated movie, which I think exists in the Arkhamverse, by the way. So, I mean, I guess they could do that. But there are so many amazing villains in Batman's Rogues Gallery, and they've been featured in the Arkham games. Riddler, Two-Face, Penguin, Ra's al Ghul. I feel like Ra's al Ghul should be the main antagonist. I realize he was an antagonist at the beginning of Gotham Knights, and he was featured in City and in a DLC for Arkham Knight. But I really feel like Ra's al Ghul should be given a larger role as the main antagonist in maybe a future Batman game, but that may not happen. But I do have a couple of ideas for a future Batman game, if they're still sitting around the table at Rocksteady trying to come up with something that's not a reboot to Asylum. Two suggestions. Batman Beyond game, maybe call it Batman Beyond Arkham, featured in the future of Gotham City, revolved around Terry McGinnis becoming the next Batman, because I loved Batman Beyond when I was a kid. It was amazing. And they created unique characters for that world of Batman Beyond. Terry McGinnis was a completely different Batman, even though Bruce Wayne was his mentor. That means they'd probably have to get somebody to voice an older Bruce Wayne, which I'm okay with. And there were so many really cool villains. You still have like the Joker's gang, inspired by the Joker. And I think that'd be a cool way to take the franchises. Give us a Batman Beyond game, because we've been wanting a new Batman Beyond series or a movie, but that is yet to occur. So yeah, maybe a Batman Beyond game featuring Terry McGinnis as Batman. And my other idea revolves around a game in the new Batman movie. You have The Batman with Robert Pattinson. There's a sequel they're working on. We also have the Penguin series, which is also part of the Batman-verse. So maybe a game based in the world of the Batman. Maybe it's a prequel game, right? A prequel to the first movie, because at that point, Batman had been doing his thing for the past few years now, prior to the Riddler showing up. And maybe that's where we could have Batman go up against that version of Joker. Maybe call it the Batman Year One. So that is another option I think would be interesting. as a future Rocksteady Batman game if they are working on one. Either a Batman Beyond game or a Batman game set in the Batman universe. Mostly a prequel. I like the idea of the Batman Year One, so that would be cool. Either way, you could go either way with those two options. So regarding Sony as an exclusive, I don't know about this because Sony just lost a lot of money, $400 million allegedly, due to the failure of Concord. So I don't know if Sony has that kind of dough laying around to hand over to Warner Brothers, but I could see the possibility of Warner Brothers gladly accepting, nice big bag of cash from Sony to make the next Batman game either an exclusive or early access for the PS5. So I could see that happening. But personally, I'm not really a fan of exclusives. Early access is one thing, but I prefer most games being available across all functioning platforms. In this case, PS5, Xbox Series, and eventually PC, because all too often whenever a game launches day one on PC as well, it has issues, and there's just things different about PC compared to the platforms, which is why another studio, Rockstar, likes to take their time when it comes with the PC ports for example, GTA 5 as well as Red Dead Redemption 2, because they had a disastrous PC version of GTA 4 when they launched that many years ago. So yeah, a lot of times the PC version of a game that's being mainly built for PS5, Xbox Series may have some issues whenever you just drop it day one on PC. So I understand, them taking their time when it comes to a PC port. I don't think that this game would probably run too well on the next Switch, whether it's Switch 2 or called something else entirely. But yeah, not really a fan of exclusives. So even if this rumor turns out to be true, with the current state of Rocksteady post-Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I'm not really feeling optimistic about a new Batman game. But I hope that I'm proven wrong. And if the game is not rushed, if Warner Brothers allows Rocksteady to take their time and build up an amazing new Batman game, even if it is using assets from previous Batman Arkham games, there's a reason why we love these games, not just because of the characters and the stories, but it really does feel like Batman when it comes to Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins, Arkham City, and yes, Arkham Knight. So yeah, you might dust off something old like the assets and mechanics, but there's really nothing wrong with that, especially since it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as the old saying goes. But yeah, I'm still concerned because you'd have to get the right writers involved, individuals that are passionate about Batman, knowledgeable about Batman and the world of Gotham, as well as his villains, and could craft a really good story and characters. So we'll see if that actually happens. Hopefully they keep Sweet Baby Inc. far away from the next Batman game. In conclusion, I'm a huge Batman fan, been one all my life, and I absolutely love the Batman Arkham franchise. But as I mentioned in my previous Rocksteady Suicide Squad video, I really want Rocksteady to make a different game focused on a different superhero, like for example, Superman. But that would actually require Rocksteady to create new assets and mechanics. And yeah, I don't know. That's probably not going to happen, sadly, at this point. Unless the James Gunn Superman movie turns out to be a blockbuster smash hit that renews interest in Superman. But for now, I guess Rocksteady is going to play it safe after the failure of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and go back to what worked for them in the past, which is the Batman franchise. Do you think this rumor is true? If so, what kind of Batman game would you like for Rocksteady to make? A sequel, prequel to the Arkhamverse, a complete remake to Arkham Asylum, or something else entirely, like a Batman Beyond game? Or would you like to see a more grounded Batman game, kind of like a prequel Year One origins story to the Batman movie starring Robert Pattinson? Your thoughts, views, and opinions, as always, welcome below in the comments section.